Hey guys, so if you're a follower of my channel, you know that every year I do a series of Superman reviews that coincides with my yearly series of Batman reviews. I'm kicking off 2025's series of Superman reviews with a review of the Elseworlds Justice League story arc, Another Nail, written and illustrated by Alan Davis, and of course published by DC Comics in 2004. Now, this is a sequel to Alan Davis's 1998 Elseworlds story, The Nail. Now, I already reviewed The Nail last year when I did these Superman reviews, and I'll leave a link in the description below too, where you can check out that review. Now, I have both this and The Nail in an omnibus that collects both story arcs as one graphic novel. So, the basic premise of The Nail was it was set in an alternate version of the DC universe, where what if on the day that Jonathan and Martha Kent were supposed to have found Kal-El in that cornfield, what if they had gotten a nail in their tire and decided not to go out that day? And the whole idea is basically, what would the DC universe be like without Superman? And we finally saw this universe's version of Kal-El at the end of the story, where we learned that he was taken in by an Amish family. So in Another Nail, we see this universe's version of Kal-El become Superman, and we start to see this universe become more like the DC universe that we know, except that Superman in this universe has a different backstory than the one that we're familiar with. So in the first half of Another Nail, we find out that during the events of The Nail, there was this massive war between Apocalypse and New Genesis, and the Green Lanterns were forced to intervene, and this war ultimately ended with the destruction of Apocalypse and the death of Darkseid. A lot of the comic from then on really focuses on the Justice League having to deal with the aftermath of this war, and we also focus on Kal-El having to adjust to his new life as Superman. But as the comic goes on, we realize that something's happening that's affecting not just the universe of this comic, but the entire multiverse and the astral plane as well, because demons from hell are starting to slip through into our world, and all these supernatural superheroes like the Phantom Stranger and Dr. Fate are trying to take care of this threat. Now, I really liked The Nail. I thought that was a really solid Elseworlds story, but Another Nail, I'm not gonna lie, this story felt a lot more disjointed, and we follow all these different plot threads dealing with all these different characters, which sometimes can work, but here it just kind of devolves into what I would call superhero gobbledygook. But for me, the best parts of this comic were the first half, where it dealt with the war between New Genesis and Apocalypse. I thought that story was actually really well done. There's also a subplot dealing with Batman, which I thought was really interesting. Now, in the first book, The Nail, the Joker got his hands on alien technology and violently and gruesomely murdered Batgirl and Robin right in front of Batman. So in a fit of rage, Batman murdered the Joker. Remember, this is an Elseworlds story, so it's set outside of continuity. But in this, Batman is dealing with severe PTSD because of what happened, and he's also being plagued by nightmares and hallucinations about the Joker. But it appears that these might be more than just hallucinations, because this interdimensional event is also affecting the astral plane. It appears that the spirit of the Joker is reaching out from the depths of hell to get Batman's soul. But again, besides that plotline and the plotline with Darkseid, I'll be honest, a lot of this comic I thought was really forgettable. If you're a fan of The Nail, I would recommend giving this a read if you want a continuation of that story, but in my opinion, stick with The Nail. Another Nail just felt very unnecessary to me.